Hello, welcome to the Critical Analysis template video. I recommend watching this before you go into the planner, as this will make the planner make much more sense. So I'm going to go through this template. I'm going to skip the APA items because you guys know where everything is by now, and we're just going to focus on the content because this is a different paper than what we've done previously. We've done mostly response papers. This one is an analysis paper. So on top of being different focuses, we're also going to be using it, we're also going to be writing in a different point of view. So for one, we're not going to be writing in first person like we did in units 1 through 3. Instead, we're going to be writing in third person like we have been in our summaries. So now I, me, my, we, our, and no second person either. So you, your are all out as well. So we're just talking in third person. So we're saying he, she, they, them, it, the authors. And when you want to give your opinion, you can't say I, you'll have to say something like the reader may, or just come out and state it. The reader failed to, sorry, not the reader, but the authors failed to do this. The authors did really well setting up their credibility. Just state it like that. No wishy-washy, I think. You're just stating it. So that's the kind of way you want to go with this third person angle. Also, with this critical analysis, you're going to be comparing two articles and then determining which has the stronger credibility, tone, and evidence. So you may say that the one author had just a stronger tone, but the other article had stronger credibility and evidence. That's fine. You don't have to pick one over the other. You can pick certain pieces like that if you want, and you'll see that better when I get to the thesis. But we are analyzing, we're comparing, and we're focusing on specific items here, just tone, credibility, and evidence. We're not responding to the topic of child-free. I don't want to hear your opinion about that on this essay. I want to hear your analysis, your review of the author's credibility, tone, and evidence. All right. So let's begin by looking at the intro paragraph. My biggest complaint with past intro paragraphs is when some of you have written multiple sentences thesis. Okay, a thesis is one sentence. This entire paragraph is only 5 sentences, so it's 2 for the hook. And the hook sentence pulls you in as a reader. Then there's 2 background, and then there's 1 thesis, 1 sentence. You just state it all very clearly and concisely. I think when you guys write multiple theses, you feel like you have to explain yourself, and you don't. You don't have to explain yourself in the thesis. That's what the rest of the essay is for. So just clearly state your piece and then move on. All right, so what's very interesting about this intro paragraph in comparison to the others in 2 and 3 is that this time we're going to do 2 background sentences as usual, but 1 sentence is going to be about the textbook article, and the other sentence is going to be about the article you found in your source about. So there you go. So 1 first article's author title in quotations in the main idea, and then the second article. So that's your 2 background this time. Then again, your 1 sentence thesis that gives the results of the comparison of the author's credibility, tone, and evidence. And here is the example. After comparing Article 1 and 2, Article 1 has the stronger credibility and evidence, but Article 2 has the better tone for the subject. See, nice, clear, to the point. I don't explain myself because, again, that's what the rest of the essay is for. All right, as I'm going through the body paragraphs, please note the location of the section headings because that's how I want your section headings done. We also have subsection headings, so note them as well. All right, so the second paragraph, as usual, is the summary paragraph. It's going to be 6 to 8 sentences like usual. The major difference here is that the paragraph, well, 1 paragraph is going to be split into kind of 2 sections here. So we have the first part, the first half, first section, however we want to call it, of the summary paragraph is going to be about the textbook article, You'll start with the attribution sentence, author, title, main idea. Then you'll do 2 major details about the article. If you want to do more, that's fine. Just remember 6 to 8 sentences, so don't go overboard. And then moving forward here, you'll go into the second article. This is the source of that article. You'll do the attribution sentence, author, title, main idea. Then you'll do a couple major details from the article. Again, 6 to 8 sentences, no more than 8, no less than 6. Okay, now we're getting into the analysis section. So you guys have been, focusing on your source evaluation questions and reviewing the CRAP method each time. You guys know about the author's credibility or authority. So if you want to change this to authority analysis, that's cool. It means the same thing. So in this section, you are, first going to describe the credentials of both authors, then state the effects those credentials have on their respective articles, and then explain which author you think had the better credentials and why. So you're first describing each, stating the effects, and then comparing. So you're setting me up. You're kind of following me through your thought process. You've read Article 1, this is what you think about the credibility. Article 2, this is what you think about that credibility. And then, you're comparing them for me. To begin this paragraph, the topic sentence, you'll just state the role that credibility has in an article. So what role does a author's authority on the subject play in the article, in its credibility and its effectiveness? In the sense, for example, if the author doesn't have credentials that are appropriate to their topic, with Child Free by Choice, it's probably mostly sociological studies and maybe even psychological studies as well. If they don't have a degree in that, how does that affect the rest of their article? Or vice versa, if they do have a degree in that, what does that do for their article? The next paragraph is tone. Now, tone is how the author feels about their subject. Mood is how you feel about it. Tone is how the authors feel about it. And you determine tone by their word choice, their arrangement of their words together like in a sentence. Sometimes the length of a sentence is also important, and punctuation. Sometimes even like if they do all caps, that tells you a lot about how the authors feel about the subject in that moment. So you're going to begin by stating what effect tone can have in an article. Then you're going to spend the first half of the paragraph giving examples of the word choice in the textbook article. And when giving examples, you're going to need to use quotes because you're pulling out exact words. Then you're going to, explain each example for the appropriate for the reader, jargon, and connotation. I would try to stick to maybe 2 to 3 examples and a sentence for each example. First, here's the example, then explain it. And it could be, with the word choice, it could be one word or a couple of words because you're also showing the arrangement of it. You want to talk about if it's appropriate for the reader at the level they're at, the jargon and the connotation, if there's any jargon. And connotation is the feeling the word gave off, like yelled versus screamed. Yelled has like an angry connotation. Scream kind of makes you feel like someone's scared. And then once you've given those examples, you'll explain how this word choice led you to the tone of the article. And you'll do the same thing for the second article, the exact same thing. Then you'll compare them for who has the most effective tone. And again, this is third person for all of this. So you'll say the author uses the words blah, 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 blah. This will lead the reader to believe that the tone is la, 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 la. After comparing the two articles, it is very clear that Article 1 has the better tone for the subject. Then we'll move on to evidence. So this is the last analysis point. You'll begin with the topic sentence that states the role evidence plays in an article, which is supporting the author's main point. And you'll do what you did kind of in the first, in the previous article. You'll spend the first part focusing on Article 1, then the second point, on Article 2, then you'll compare and explain which article had stronger evidence for the topic and why. And that is the critical analysis: credibility, tone, evidence. Then you'll have the conclusion, 4 to 5 sentences, reviews your main points from the analysis only, restates your thesis, ends with a strong, impactful point, and then you're good to go there. Okay, there is one APA thing I want to talk to you about, the reference page. Remember, it needs to be on a separate page. I've given you the template for the textbook article only here. You need to do the second article yourself, and you can do that through Citation Machine or looking on Purdue OWL to how to set it up. And if you have Word, you can go to References, Manage Source, New, and set it up there as well. So there's a couple ways you guys can do this. You can have Citation Machine set it up for you, you can have Word set up for you, or you could freehand it by reading the information on Purdue OWL. And that is Purdue OWL, like the bird. All right, and that is a critical analysis. And again, if you're watching this video after the planner, make sure you go back to the planner after watching this video. That way you can see where everything's supposed to go. All right, if you have any questions, please email me. I'll be more than happy to help. Bye.